The knock came at exactly 3:03 a.m. Kara sat upright in her bed, the echo of it still bouncing in her ears. It wasn't loud, just three soft, deliberate taps, but it sliced through the silence of her tiny apartment like a blade. She stared at her bedroom door, the hallway beyond it shrouded in darkness. The knock hadn't come from outside. It was from inside the apartment. She reached for her phone on the nightstand, her fingers trembling, but stopped herself. The screen was cracked, useless after she'd dropped it earlier that evening. Of course, tonight, of all nights. "It's nothing," she whispered, though her voice wavered. "Just the pipes. Or maybe the neighbor's cat again." But the cat didn't knock. Kara swung her legs over the edge of the bed, the hardwood cold against her bare feet. The air felt heavier now, pressing down on her chest as she crept toward the door. The silence in the apartment was absolute, save for the faint hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. She gripped the doorknob, her pulse pounding in her ears. Before she could turn it, the knock came again, this time right against the door she was holding. Kara stumbled back with a gasp, her hand flying to her mouth. "Who's there?" she croaked, her voice barely audible. No answer. The air around her seemed to thrum with an unseen energy, making the tiny hairs on her arms stand on end. And then a voice. Low, guttural, and too close. "Open up, Kara." She staggered backward, her heart a wild drumbeat. "Mark, is that you?" she stammered, her mind clinging to the most rational explanation. Her ex-boyfriend had a spare key, after all, but even as she said it, she knew the voice wasn't his. It was deeper, colder, like nails dragged across wet stone. "Please," it said again, softer this time. "I just need to see you." Kara's breath came in short, shallow gasps. She turned and grabbed the nearest object, a lamp from her nightstand. The cord trailed behind her as she held it aloft like a weapon. "I'm calling the police," she shouted, hoping her neighbors might hear. But the voice only chuckled. "You won't make it to the phone." The bedroom light flickered violently, then went out, plunging her into darkness. Kara froze, her grip tightening on the lamp. A faint scratching sound began on the other side of the door, like nails dragging down the wood. Her voice shook as she whispered, "What do you want?" The scratching stopped. Silence enveloped the room again, thick and suffocating. And then, just as she thought it was over, the door slowly creaked open. Kara screamed, swinging the lamp blindly into the darkness. It collided with something, soft, yielding, but when she reached to feel what it was, her hands found nothing. Her eyes darted around, adjusting to the faint moonlight filtering through the window. The door was open now, but the hallway beyond was empty. Her chest heaved as she stepped cautiously toward the doorway. Every instinct screamed for her to run, but she couldn't leave without knowing. She leaned forward, peering into the shadowy corridor. "Kara?" the voice whispered again, directly behind her. She spun around, but there was nothing. Just the faint impression of movement, a shimmer in the air where someone should have been. The lamp slipped from her grasp and shattered at her feet. The sound jolted her back to reality, and she bolted for the door. She didn't stop running, not when she reached the stairwell, not when she burst out into the night, barefoot and shivering. When the landlord inspected the apartment the next morning, he found the bedroom door scratched and splintered, the floor littered with tiny, blackened handprints that led nowhere.